there he is.
Can you see me?
Yes.
I am wearing a hat. It is very cold here. You know, I live in Maine.
Yes.
Um, and also, I didn't want to put like stuff in my hair.
Just say you just wanted to like throw together a look, hop on the camera,
You
and
have
then
to.
just.
So here's the thing. Okay, see, we can talk about this because you're a teacher and I used to
Mm.
be a teacher. My life now is so different from, when you're a teacher. I mean, like you get up early, you go to school, you have like this routine. Oh my gosh, look at all our friends are here. Yeah. Also, the people talking at the bottom is very, very distracting, but it's there. um and then now I have this weird life where I don't have a schedule like that. Like my day-to-day schedule, if I told you, it's it's so not normal.
Yeah, but you like. I mean, you. I'm not saying you like have earned that. You deserve it. You deserve to like not have to be in that
I
teacher
know.
life.
I
Um,
know.
so you've like created that life for yourself. You put in the time, you put in the work, and now you get to relax and write all day.
Oh, it's not
I'm assuming
relaxing.
that's what your day is.
I know. People think it's so glamorous. Here's what it really is. Okay, I'll tell you. So my husband also, I feel like we're gonna play a game tonight.
Oh
And
no.
when I say we, I mean people watching. Here's the game. It's a drinking game. I don't drink alcohol, but I do have a drink. Every time one of us says the word husband, you have to take a drink.
Okay, this is like I have to share this with everyone. This is an inside joke between us because um I was talking about my husband who's on this chat right now, and
Who I've met.
someone gave me a very nasty comment about how why is it always gay people who talk about their husbands so much? And so now any opportunity we get, we bring up husbands because we should be able to.
And also, like that is so. Can I just say? I mean, I know not to harp on this person we don't even know who this person is, but like as a person who I don't know how it is where you are, like what your school is like, or the makeup of the teaching staff, but for me, it was very often that I was the only male person in the building. Like there were many instances. I mean, I worked in many different schools where there might have been like one other male in the building. And sometimes it wasn't even a teacher, it was like a custodian or something like that. Like it was another staff member, but not a teacher. And the way that is so hypocritical because the female teachers always talked about their husbands and their children, and they were
Hmm.
pregnant, and they would show their uh, ultrasound to their students. Like nobody batted an eye about that.
Yeah, I think that's so funny you say that because I was going to bring that up tonight because one of the things that I love about your book is that Marvin is so open about his relationship with his students, and I feel like you can't do that in today's like society. Like I can't do that where I teach because I'm afraid of the backlash I would get.
I
Um,
mean, I mean, I'm saying this. Obviously, I don't know your school. I mean,
yeah.
I kind of know where you live. Like, I'm not going to say it, but like, I know the area where you live just because I know a little bit about you. But
Hmm.
like, I'm asking this, and I mean it in a real way. I'm genuinely meaning this. I mean it like genuinely. It's like also it's late, right? Like 8 o'clock is late for us.
I'm
Oh,
usually in bed by now,
that's what
so
I mean.
I'm staying awake for you.
So okay. What was I going to say? Oh, do you feel like because there's a reason I'm asking this because there was a time when I felt that way, and I had some conversations with other teachers and even my principal at the time, and what I learned was that it was my own internalized
Mm.
homophobia and fear. Not it wasn't reality. And my principal actually said to me, she's like, Matt, you can be as out as you want to be. and no one's going to care. And if anyone does, they're going to have to talk to me about it. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I slowly started to be more out. And actually, it was my students who, because I taught little kids. Your
Mhm.
students are a little bit older, and the little ones, they are they are um they just say it. They don't. I mean, probably your students do too. Like I remember one year, it was the beginning of the year, and I hadn't, like, this is the thing that people don't understand when they're not queer. Like, I had to come out and make that decision every year.
Right.
It's not like you just come out once and then you're like, oh, now I'm out. No, because it's new kids, right? And they don't know you. So it was the beginning of the year, and this was kindergarten. So I know, like, your students would probably not do this, but we would do these little games in the morning that were like nursery rhymes and songs and things like that. And this was like the first week of school, and we were singing "The Farmer in the Dell," which I probably many people know. "The Farmer in the Dell, the Farmer in the Dell." Hi ho, the dairy, the farmer in the dell. And then it goes, the farmer takes a wife, the farmer takes a wife. And so the student who's standing in the middle of the circle would take a wife. Well, what happened was, it was a little boy who was the farmer, and he took another little boy as his
Mhm.
wife. And it was like someone put a needle on the scratch on the record, like, and one of the other kids was like, "You can't do that." And before I even could open my mouth, a little girl says, "Yes, he can. Two boys can be married. It's called being gay." And
Ah,
I was like, "Yes." And you know what? Actually, Mr. And I said my name, which I won't say here because it's like my government name. I was like, "I'm actually married to a boy." Well, he's a man, but like, to them, it's like, boy, everyone's a boy or a girl. Um, so anyway, why am I telling you that
no,
story?
you
Oh,
were
because
asking
I
like,
was, yeah,
is it my own internalized? And you know what? Honestly, like it probably is a little bit. It probably is like not wanting to like open myself up to any comments from parents or like,
criticism. Yeah.
right. My administration would support me 100%. I have no doubt about that. Maybe it's like me preventing conflict because I don't like conflict. I don't like to fight with people. And like I don't need someone telling me that like the way I live my life isn't up
And
to
the
their
other
standards
thing,
or
I
like
mean, it
acceptable.
sounds kind of like sad. I don't want to be like super sad on our live where we're supposed to be
Yeah, we're
like
not.
fun, but like, when you grow up hiding who you are for a good portion of your life, even if you're one of those people who comes out when you're like, a 12 year, 12 or something like that, which I don't know about you, but that was not me. But so when you've lived a good portion of your life hiding, you just kind of learn to hide. Like, it's kind of, you don't even realize it. It's like a survival defense mechanism. And I think a lot of queer people have this. And now you're an adult, right? Like, you're a full-grown man, and you are married with a husband. Take a drink.
I'll have a drink.
And and but you still, it's like, it's almost like the muscle memory of your brain and your body to hide, which is, when you think about it, it is kind of sad, but that's who we are, like, we grew up feeling like we couldn't be honest about who we are, and that doesn't just go away. Oh my gosh, we're like having therapy.
Yeah, I know. It's funny that you say that like the kids kind of know because like I obviously I'm married to my husband. Drink.
Who's so okay, who also, I'm gonna pause and tell a story here, because this is my brain. So the first time I met Brad and his husband, who wasn't his husband at the time, was your partner, I guess, like, because you weren't married.
Correct.
There he is, Brad. It was at the Rip Bodice in Manhattan, in New York City, and I was there when Mistletoe came out, like the OG Mistletoe. So this was like over 2 years
It's
ago.
behind me.
And I was like, you know, here's the thing about these events, which people don't talk about, but I'm going to say it as an author. It's so, for me, I have so much anxiety because I always think no one's coming. Like, here I am, I've traveled to New York City, the Rip Bodice is staying open late, and there's going to be no one there. And how horrible is that going to be? And I'll feel terrible. But that's not what happened. A lot of people came. It was lovely. And you and your husband came, or, well, he wasn't your husband. You and Brett came, And I did not know you were coming, and I didn't really know you, but like I kind of like knew who you were a little bit from Instagram, and I was so shocked to see you. Like I was really shocked in a good way. I was like taken aback. And you and I keep saying your husband. I can say that because he is your
Yeah,
husband
say it.
now.
He is my husband.
Well, because then he wasn't. So I feel like, weird saying it. But like you and he were so. Here's the thing people need to know. Sometimes you see people online and then you meet them in person and you're like, oh, they're not really that nice. No names here, but that has happened to me many times. And I could tell you in the DMs after.
You
Um,
don't have to.
I mean, I'm happy to. But I won't say it. I would never say anything bad about anyone publicly. It's not anything bad. It's just they're not who they are online, right? And
Right.
then you two, you were so lovely. And I remember, first of all, and I'm not trying to embarrass you or make you blush, but I was like, as good looking as people think you are, you're better looking in person. And
Oh, here
so
we
when
go.
because you're tall, so you're
Yeah,
like tall and handsome, and you can't get the tallness in on the computer or whatever, the phone, and and Brett too, he's tall too. And so the two of you, I was like, oh my god, they're so good looking. I was like flustered. And then you came up and you were so kind, and you like, I remember you gave me a hug, and it was like it was the nicest hug. Like some people hug and it's not a good hug, like they're not good huggers. You are a good hugger. You know who else is a good hugger? Rod. Have you ever hugged him?
yes, at Queers and Quills, I believe I did.
Was it a good hug?
I it was a good hug.
Yeah. Like I remember I was like, I don't want this hug to end. Like I think I have a hug kink, if that's a thing. Like it was such a good hug. And you hug like that too. Anyway, okay. Um, I got off on a tangent. What were we talking about?
We've been talking about a lot. You know what's funny? You mentioned this, but like that was the
That was
first
your
bookish.
first event.
Yeah, that was the first event I ever went to. And it was a lot for me because like you and I wasn't. I mean, I'm very like grateful for like where this platform has gone, but like that was when I was like a baby account, and I didn't really know what I was doing with this. Anyway, I have a lot of anxiety, and so like going to events like that and being like, it was just nice to have like that connection, and then like you are so kind and were so kind to me, and it was nice just to like be in a space that felt welcoming, and that's what that was.
I think I just realized also, I think my husband was there.
He was. Yep,
Did you meet him?
I did. Yes.
Because so here's the thing about my husband. My husband is very, very private, and he's quiet, and he doesn't like it when I call him shy, but he is shy. Like,
Yeah.
that is just kind of who he is. He's much more of like of an introvert. And he came because that was your first event, but it was also I had done like one book signing at a local bookstore that's not a romance bookstore. And it was just like, they put you at a table and like maybe people might want to come by and like find out what your book is. That was my first real event where I had like in conversation partner, and it was like at the Rip Bodice, which is like, a big thing. Oh yeah, my husband bought me that Minotaur. See him? He's right there.
I do.
And he's in a suit because that's the whole thing with my Minotaur. He's the CEO of the company. And anyway, my
That's their
husband
next. Well,
had
it's
that
not
made
the
for
next
me.
book, but it's the book after, right?
Yeah. I forgot he's up there. He's so cute, that Minotaur. So my husband was like, I'm gonna come. And then I remember even like he almost didn't want to come to the event. Like he was gonna come with me and just stay in the hotel room. Like that's kind of how he is. But he's like, no, I'm gonna come. I'm just gonna stand off to the side or in the back. And I'm just gonna like he is supportive. He doesn't want to be supportive. He is, but he doesn't want like his picture taken. He doesn't like that. And so it was a big deal that he came. He doesn't go to a lot of things. He is, knock on wood, there's like, I'll knock on my head. He's planning on coming to Queers and Quills in 2027 with me.
Oh, nice. That'll be
Are you
awesome.
gonna are you gonna go
But
back? Are you gonna go?
I'm going to try to get tickets. I imagine they'll sell out really quick.
We'll get you one. I know people.
I know
I
people. I'm gonna
do.
pull
I
some
really do.
strings.
I actually do. I'm friends with Ashell, who is, the
Yeah,
it's her thing. So like I can like, I've got connections. Hey,
I'll
you know
just
what?
work it.
I don't have a lot of connections. So if I have one and I can use it, just let me.
Oh, okay. I mean, if you really want to,
Because the
I'm gonna
thing is,
go. I'm gonna buy tickets. I got a ticket
yeah,
last year, and it was an amazing experience. I definitely not to like plug Queers and Quills or promote it, but
no, plug away. I would plug. I'm
wonderful
plugging it.
conference, and I'm sad that it's not yearly, but
I
I
know.
understand the reasons why. But yeah. What's so funny? I was gonna say this. You were my first um live like book event, in person book event, but your book, Teacher of the Year, was the very first spicy book I ever read. I
Do you know
I
how that makes my heart happy? Like when people tell me that, I'm like, yes, yes.
I and
I
I
popped
and
your
I
cherry.
I you did two of them. But I remember I remember when I joined Bookstagram, like everybody was talking about it, and I was like, huh, okay, it's an MM romance, and it's about a teacher that's like
Gotta read it.
me. Great,
Yeah.
I gotta read it. And I remember reading it in bed and being like, turning to Brett and being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm reading this right now. And I've never looked back. I've never looked back.
Okay, so on the flip side, that was my first romance that I wrote, obviously, that's
Right.
spicy. And when I was writing it, here's a funny story that I've told this before, but not in a long time. So people might not know this. The first draft of that book was not nearly as spicy as what it ended up being. And I worked with, I don't know if you met Amy Spalding at Queers and Quills, or
I
if
did.
you, yeah,
Yeah.
she's, Amy is like, I just adore her for so many reasons, but she was my developmental editor, and it just kind of was luck that I fell into working with her. And she's the one who really pushed me to crank up the heat. And I was so I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I'm not ashamed to say this. Like, I had a lot of my own kind of like internalized shame around sex and spice, and I think a lot of queer people do. Again, because we grew up basically thinking like what we like, what our attraction and desire is not good, or it's not okay, or we have to hide it. And I think that doesn't just go away. And honestly, writing, which I know a lot of people who say this who read spice as well, but writing these spicy books has just it's been like very liberating for me,
Mm.
and it's helped me understand that it's not something to be ashamed of, right? Like we're grown-ups, like I mean, we don't have to say how old we are, but we're adults, right? Like we're not kids, and we are allowed to enjoy this. And with and it kind of is a parallel to the book, and actually all of these teacher books specifically, in that what we were talking about before, a lot of times I feel like teachers, it doesn't even matter if you're queer or not, there's this expectation that you are somehow kind of like neutered a little bit.
Mm.
Like, oh no, I want to know how old Brad is. No, don't tell me. I don't want you to tell me, because I don't want to say how old I am. Because I'm probably old.
Ah,
I'm sure I'm older than you.
you don't know
Um,
that.
yes, I do. Because I know how old I am, and I'm pretty sure I know how old you are. And you're not even 40, are you?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, well, I am. So there we go.
Okay, well there we go.
Um, wait, now what was I talking about? Sex and oh, teachers. That there's this expectation that teachers, like even the female teachers when I would work with that I worked with, when they would get pregnant, which they always all did, right? Like not all, but like a lot of them, the younger ones, it was never like it was just kind of like, I mean, obviously we're not talking to kids about where babies come from when they're
Right.
little, but still, oh, this is another funny story. When I taught second grade, because I taught many grades, there was a second grade teacher who got pregnant, and she told her class, and then everyone knew. And it was bus time, and we were walking to the bus, and a little girl in my class, she patted me on she poked me, and she went like this, so I would like go down, and she whispered in my ear, and she said, "Mr." And she said my name. I know how the baby got in, and I know how it's going to get out. And this little girl, I'm kind of pretty sure that she knew. Like she was one of those, like she was pretty
She knew.
wise for her. She knew. And I was like, good for you. Like keep that to yourself. But so there's this whole thing that like teachers, and then I feel like if you're a queer teacher, it's exponentially more.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to be like a Ken doll, like you're there to serve the students and to teach, and you're not supposed to have a life. You're not supposed to have sex,
Yeah.
and like, what's
Oh,
that
sorry.
noise?
That was
Is that
my,
your
I'm so sorry. That was my laptop.
Oh, I thought it was your doorbell. I was like, who's ringing your doorbell at 8:30 at night? I was like, oh, Brad, Brad and Brad are having fun.
Nobody rings our doorbell that late at night. That
Ooh,
was gonna make me just being like queer and a teacher, um, and kids being more perceptive. I was gonna say this earlier. You know how like you share with your students about you, and obviously I'm married and I wear a ring to work, um, and the kids see the ring and they know what it is, and so a lot of times they'll be like, "Well, do you have a wife?"
wife.
And I'll be like, "No," but I don't like give any more information. Or like they'll be like, "Do you have a girlfriend?" And then again, I say no. But one of my students, when this it gets brought up, maybe like once every 3 months, my kids will like start talking about like who am I married to, and they're all debating it. They're all debating it. And one of my students is like, "Hey, we know he's married. We just don't know if he's married to a woman or if he's married to a man." And I
That's
was like, you know
great.
what? And that's how it has. That's all it is. It's you don't
That
have to. You don't have to know.
well, and
Um,
that's it's like it's that assumption, right? Like the assumption is that you would be married to a woman, and it's like no, that's not like maybe, but maybe not. Like,
yeah,
um, and that is, I mean, obviously you have to say what you feel comfortable with or not, but like that is something you could say in return. Like, why do you assume that someone that a man would only be married to a woman or a woman would only be married to a man? Like, that's like a that's now, see, you have a ring light. I don't. I have my computer. That's behind my screen because I am basic. I don't have a ring light. I'm not some influencer like
oh
you.
my gosh. I didn't, it was a
Um,
gift. I didn't buy it myself.
but like those like biased assumptions that children make, even adults. Like, my husband and I had this conversation. Like one time, this was like years ago. We were walking, and there was like a person. I don't remember where we were. Like just walking around town, and he said something to me along the lines of, "Is that a man or a woman?" Like he couldn't tell the person's gender, and I said to him, I said, "Why does it matter? Like, why do
Mm,
you have to know?" And he was like, "Oh my God, you're right. You're right." And so like it's kind of, throwing back those preconceived binaries that we have, and kids have them too, right? Like, if you're a man, you have to be married to a woman. If you're a woman, no, who says that? But I know you have to be comfortable saying that, right? Like,
yeah.
um, but I will say writing the first book, Teacher of the Year, and then obviously the other books too, it was I really wanted to write a world where that wasn't an issue, right? Like where this teacher is just out and the kids know and they don't care. And they want him to, they want their teacher to be happy, right? And they want their teacher to have a person, whether that's regardless of the gender of the person. And like, oh, I'm remembering Teacher View, there's that scene on the school bus where one of the kids says, like, he doesn't have a boyfriend. I forgot about that. But that's like what that's kind of how they are,
Yeah.
They just want the reason your kids are saying that is because they love you in their own way, right? And they want to know that you're happy and that you are taken care of and being taken care of and all that and taking care of someone. Like they care about you. And so because they care about you, they want to know about you. But also you have to be comfortable, like because what grade do you teach? Fourth?
Fourth. I teach fourth grade.
Yeah, that's a little, that's those kids scare me.
What? Why? I actually am trying to get. I would like to teach younger, but I want to go down to second or third. But I'm happy with fourth.
Yeah.
I've been teaching fourth for a long time, and I like to like switch it up. But they shouldn't scare you. Those kids shouldn't scare you.
No, I mean they're just the math scared me, like for
Oh
sure, like that older math. I mean, I taught first grade and I had to have help from the math coach on how to teach the first grade math because it was so confusing to me. Um, but I figured it out, because the way
yeah.
they teach math now is not how I learned it when I was in school. It's like
Oh,
totally different. So anyway,
same.
um,
Well, let's. Should we talk about your book?
yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, well, Husband of the Year just came out on Tuesday. Happy
Yay! I
publication.
have it right here.
Yes, I have it right here. It's gonna be
Did I send that?
backwards.
I sent it to you, didn't I? Or did they send
Yeah,
it to you? I can't
yeah,
remember. Someone
it's
sent
good.
it to you.
But I had the opportunity to also listen to the audio, which I know you don't listen to your audios, right?
So I I don't. Oh, Liesel is here. Liesel's one of the women who got married at the wedding that we had a week ago. Like there was a wedding at the bookstore, and she was one of the brides. Like it was two women, so I guess they're both
Oh, that's
brides, right?
awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. I I don't listen to the whole audiobook because it's really hard for me to listen to my audio. Emily Rath and I were talking about this last night because it's like you write this and then you read it. Like I don't think people who haven't written a book don't understand. I don't think they understand how much you read your book before it actually gets published. Like
Yeah.
hundreds of times by the time you're done. Like you've read it over and over and over. And you kind of almost have the the cadence and the rhythm of like especially like the jokes and things like that. And so it's strange to hear someone else reading it. So I don't love to listen to my audiobooks, but I listen to a little bit. Like I want to hear the narrators, and especially with Husband of the Year, there's a new narrator that I don't know. Oh my gosh, Rod is here. Um, I love him. He is like I love him so much. Um, um, he's like a big cuddly bear, like when he hugged me, I was like, oh my God, like, could you just hug me forever? So there's a new narrator with Husband of the Year in addition to Kirk. So I was like, I need to, and I had heard his voice because they actually let me pick. Like they gave me some, they let me, they sent me like three or four people and I got to listen and pick who I wanted. And I
Oh, that's
picked him.
awesome.
Yeah, I picked Torian. As soon as I heard his voice, I was like, "Oh yeah, it's him." And that's who they hired. So I listened to a little bit because I wanted to hear him. I didn't know that they were going to use Torian for like all the text messages. Like every time Olin and Marvin are texting, it's his voice. I didn't know they were going to do that. And I thought that was really cool. But I didn't listen to so I just listened to snippets. Did you listen to the whole thing?
It was like I would read it at home, but then listen to it on my commute, and it was
Gotcha.
nice. It was like a
Like a
nice,
tandem.
yeah, yeah. It was good. Um, because I didn't listen to the audio for Teacher of the Year, so it's interesting to then go into the audio when you already have an established couple because you've kind of like crafted what they sound like in your own head, and if it doesn't match, there's a little bit of a disconnect. But I think it worked out. But so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot, actually. And
Good.
I'm not really an audio person, so
Oh,
it's
see, I love an audiobook because here's the other thing that happened. The thing about becoming an author that no one tells you is that it fucks with your reading because like, no, it does because think about it. Like, I'm in front of my computer for hours a day. And what am I doing? I'm looking at words, right?
yeah.
Even though I'm writing, I'm also kind of reading, right? And so then the last thing I want to do when I'm done is read, like pick up a book and look at more words. My eyes are tired. And so because of that, I've actually been doing a lot more audiobooks. It's like the way that I read now. I mean, I still will read books when like I'm asked to sometimes to blurb a book or like I'm doing an event if I'm doing an event with someone, like I did the event with Emily Rath, and I'm doing an event next year in early in the year with oh gosh, I'm embarrassed. I can't remember his last name. Tom Vellner, I think his last name is. He wrote 30, he wrote that book 30 Love.
Yes.
The
Oh, I just saw the cover release
Yeah.
was just it was yeah.
Yes. So I'm doing an event with him. And so when you do events or when you have to blurb, they send you the book ahead of time and there's no audiobook because it's too early. So in those cases, I will read the book, but it is a struggle for me.
I'm
And I
sure.
love an audiobook. I just don't like my own. I like to listen to other
Yeah.
books.
Well, like to your point, I mean, you have read it so many times, you know the story like the back of your hand, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't land the same.
Yeah.
But this is the first book where you had an established couple already created, already crafted. Like, how did you approach telling their story and going further? I mean, I think it's easy as a reader to see that, like, the spice has to be different, right? Because they already know each other so well. Like, that adds another layer to their relationship. So, how was it to write an established couple and not have to like lead up to that point?
So coming up with the story was actually very challenging because, in theory, it sounds great. Like, oh my gosh, let's write a book about them getting married. Like, people will love that. But when you actually think about what the formula is for a romance novel, it's not an established couple, right? Like,
Right.
most, there's like second chance romances, but usually in those books, the couple is disconnected at the beginning, or they don't like each other or whatever reason, so they're getting like a second chance. But most books, they don't know each other, so there's like a meet cute and they fall in love, and then there's like, touching, and then maybe a kiss, and there's like a whole arc, right? And I was like, well, what am I going to do with this this book? Because they're already together. And I knew that I did not want to break them up, right? Like, I didn't want a third act breakup in this book because I thought, no, I don't want that. Like, and I don't think people would like that. But I also knew, and I said this with Emily last night, and I say this all the time about this book, people think that they would love to read a book about happy people being happy, but you don't. Like, that's boring, right? Like a book
Yeah.
about just people who love each other being happy, and like the whole book is just great. Like, nobody wants to read that. Like, that's boring. I mean, you might want that in your life, but you don't want that in your book. So I was like, how am I gonna give them some turmoil and drama? Well, as you probably know, because you were recently married, planning a wedding is stressful and chaotic. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how it was for you, but like when I got married, we didn't we didn't know what we didn't know, like we didn't
Right.
know, like, oh, you have to have a signature drink, and like even the invitations, and the chairs, and like all the things about planning a wedding. I was like, what have we gotten ourselves into? So I was like, okay, well, that's a little bit of like fun drama, but I was like, they need real drama too, like real drama to like raise the stakes. And so I had to think about that. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to
Yeah, yeah,
spoil
yeah.
it for
Don't.
people. But that I also thought, like, to your point, I was like, well, the intimacy, I was like, this is an opportunity because most romances are about like the first time, right? The
Right.
first kiss, the first touch, the first whatever other things that they're doing. And I was like, this is an opportunity. So I'm married, right? Like you, but I've been married longer than you. My husband and I have been married for over 12 years. So we got married like right when you could get married, like right when it was legal. And um I was like, this is an opportunity to explore how intimacy evolves and changes when you're with someone for more than like a hot minute, which is what most romances are, right? It's like that hotness of
Right.
newness, right? So the first thing I was like, well, I'm opening the book in spice, like with spice.
Great.
So
Start.
I was like, because I'm like, this is my chance, right? Like, they are literally, there's no reason that this book could not open mid thrust, and it does. So, it was fun. That was fun. But also, so here's the other thing you have to understand about Husband of the Year. When I when I wrote the book original, like when I first was planning and drafting the book, this was going to be a self-published book like the other ones. And so then it got picked up by the publisher, and I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Like, are they going to be okay with this? Are they going to, and clearly they were. But I wasn't sure. And then I don't want to give away too much again about the book. Like, I don't want to spoil too much for people, but when couples are together, the longer you're together and the more comfortable you are with someone, which doesn't happen in a new romance, right? Like a new relationship, you start to like experiment and you start to like think about how can you spice things up and make it a little bit different, because I didn't want to just write the same spice that they had in the first book. So there are, things that happen in this book that are different. They're trying some new things, new ways. They're bringing some devices and toys into the bedroom, which like this is what couples do, right?
Yeah,
Well, or
very
not. I
real.
mean, not, yeah. So it was fun. It was actually really fun. And I this book was very it was very emotional. Like I'm this weird type of person in this regard. Like I'm not a huge crier, generally speaking. Like I don't cry a ton at movies and things like that. Oh, that was my did you hear that noise? It was my
No.
shade, like just like making a noise. Um and but but when I'm writing, I can get very emotional. And this book, I was like crying a lot while I was writing this book. And there are certain parts of the book, especially like towards the end of the book, like as you
Yeah,
get closer to like them actually getting married, that are meant to be emotional. And like, people probably maybe will cry when they read them. And that's like on purpose. But that's not even what I'm talking about. Although I did cry at those parts too. But even just like this writing, because when I stopped to think about the fact that I wrote a series, like 4 books, and like this is the end for now. This is the
oh, you
end,
can't
but
do that to me.
for now it's the end, and it feels like a big deal, and these books literally have changed my life. Like literally, I was a teacher like
Yeah,
you, and now this is my life. So it's it's emotional, right? And these characters, I have lived with them for like 4 or 5 years now. Like since I started thinking about Marvin and Olin, um they've been a part of my life. And so it was emotional for me. And there's one part at the end, which I won't say what it is, but it's a part I hear over and over people who have read it. I don't know if you finished it or not, so I'm not going to spoil it,
I did, but
where
don't for the people who might
yeah,
not have picked
where
it
a
up.
lot of people, it's like at the wedding and something happens with, I'll just say something happens with Marvin and Alona. And a lot of people said that it made them cry. And I
Oh, yes.
sobbed when I wrote that.
Yeah.
And every time I read it, and like I said, I read it's like hundreds of times by the end. And I'm like, why am I crying? I wrote this. I've read it over and over again. Why am I still crying every time I read it? But I do. Every time I read it, I cry. Um,
But I think that's like just goes to show how much you've invested into this series and how much you've invested in these characters and
yeah.
how much they mean to you. So it would make sense then
Like I'm
to
getting emotional thinking about it, and I'm not gonna cry.
cry on this and cry right
And I'll
now.
tell you, so my editor is I love my editor. Her name is Manda. Like I think her actual name is Amanda, but she goes by Manda. And she's British, and she has edited all 4 of the books. And she never seems like super emotional. She does her job and she does it really well. I love the way she edits, and I love working with her. And she leaves me little comments, but they're not, she doesn't get super emotional. At that part that we're talking about, she put a little comment. She said, well, you got me. I cried.
Wait, was that the first time she'd cried in all four?
Yeah, well, that she admitted that she told me,
Oh yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
so it's
I
like,
definitely cried in Mistletoe. So,
you did?
I love that book like I so much.
Okay, so here's what I'll tell you without saying too much.
No, tell me, say it. I know it. Please.
There's a possibility that maybe there could be more another book in this series, and if there was, it probably would be Sheldon and Theo getting another book.
Uh,
But I can't say anything yet because it's not official. And here's what I will say. Oh, I just got a cramp in my foot. That's like the universe. That's like my publisher telling me to shut up. If it did happen, it won't be for a while. Like it probably would be a couple of years before
right.
that happens because
Look,
I
everybody in the
have
comments wants this.
So here's the thing. I always said I would never write another book for Sheldon and Theo because like I like where they are, like I don't think that they do get engaged at the end of Mistletoe. Like in this book, they're engaged. Like they talk about being engaged in Husband of the Year. But I don't want them to have children. Like I don't want them to adopt or have children because I feel like it's first of all, Marvin and Olin have a child. So like I feel like that's like, and it's very heteronormative and like, queer couples don't have to have kids. Like I don't want it to feel like that's what I'm saying. So then I'm like, what could I ever write for them? Like because a whole book, like what are you gonna do for a whole book, right? So I was like, no, 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 no. And then just randomly the idea came to me and it was actually on a walk. I was taking a walk with my husband was with me, and I was like, I think I have an idea for another Sheldon and Theo book. And he's like, you said you would never write that. And I was like, well, let me just tell you the idea. And I told him, and he was like, you need to write that book. So we'll see if it happens. But
Wait, that's it? That's all you're gonna say?
what more do you want me to say?
I want all the details. I want the whole story. I want exactly what you said to your husband, word for word.
I will tell you this. If they get another book, like I said, they will not have children. Like
Right,
that's not happening because I don't want that for them. But there will be changes to their life that are big. But it's not children. And the other thing I didn't want to do, oh, here comes my cat. He's very fickle. He like wants to be on my lap and then he doesn't want to be on my lap. Um, I also like I don't know how much people remember from Mistletoe, but Sheldon has like he's estranged from his family, right?
right,
Like, and I always thought I don't want him to reconcile with his family because I heard from a lot of people who told me that that meant a lot to them, like to see that representation and that, that doesn't always get a happy ending. Like, oh my gosh, now
right.
we're all, and so I was like, well, I'm not going to do that. So it
It's gonna revolve around that plot line.
no, they
Like,
won't. No,
oh no, like
no, no.
so okay. I I'm trying to get you to give me more.
Here's the only thing I will say. The idea for this book is it's all planned and it's outlined. Okay, now I'm going to tell you stuff I shouldn't tell you. I actually started writing it, and then then my agent told me to stop and write a different book that I had also pitched to the publisher. So, so I've actually written half of this book already.
So, oh my gosh.
Here's what I will tell you. Okay, I'll give you. This is the only crumb I'll give you.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, Theo's parents, who were like, people really like them in Mistletoe, even but they don't really come into the book until the end of the book. Theo's parents will play a much bigger part in that book.
Okay. Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. All right. I'll take it. I
Um,
didn't. I just want another book. That's and I
and
got
also,
that. And you say
and
it's it's not out of realm of
Well,
possibilities.
it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I don't know when it will happen. Because here's the thing about traditional publishing that people don't understand, because I didn't understand it, is the pace is so slow. It's like glacial. It's like, it's like, you know, it's just ridiculously slow. It's maddening. As someone who comes from indie publishing, where it's like, I write a book, I have a cover, I get an editor, some beta readers, I make some revisions, boom, here's the book. That's not how it works.
Yeah,
Because it has to fit in their schedule and they have to have time to print them and distribute them. It's a whole thing. So who knows when that book could potentially see the light of day. I will tell you there is a different book that I have already written that I am working on with one of my editors, because I have two editors, because I have two publishers. That is not part of the series. It's a completely different book. It's a standalone, I think. It potentially could be a series, but I think it's a standalone.
can you
And I
give?
will tell. You want a
But keep
hint?
going. Yeah, of course I do. Of course I do.
So here's what I'll tell you about that book. The people on my Patreon know, because I've told them about it, but I'm not supposed to talk about it. So it's here's what I'll tell you. It is a sports book, which is shocking because if you know me, I am not a sports person at all. But it was a sport that I'm very interested in, and I wanted to explore like the queerness in this sport. And it's not like it's not hockey or baseball or like what are the big sport romance books now. I mean, I do have a hockey book coming out, but this is not this book. So yeah, it's a great book. I love this book. It's my husband, because my husband reads everything. He's like one of my alpha readers. He said he thinks it's the best book I've ever written.
What? That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, he's going to support. I love the support that he gives you, but you can't tell
Um,
us the sport.
no.
Damn it. Now I'm trying to think of like which sports are like somewhat queer and how can we make them all queer?
But anyway,
Anyway,
husband of the year.
husband of the year. No more, no more crumbs. Um, no, I think that like that makes out like back on track. We've talked about a lot of things in a very short amount of time. Um, but I mean, this ties into like having an established relationship already, and then like what when you marry someone or enter into a relationship, the things that you take on from your spouse and the things that you like carry with you, and um, you always craft these main characters that have like a lot of you put a lot of like mental health rep in your books. And I did want to ask you, like, why do you make that a priority? Like, why do you want to make sure that you have that representation in your books? I can tell you put so much care into making sure that it's well done, and not just
Well,
like,
thank you.
oh, I'm going to put this rep in here because I need to check off a box.
I mean, there's multiple reasons to do it. Some of them are, the less fun reasons are for the craft of writing the book. I feel like it makes the characters more interesting and they feel more real when they're not just like these like perfect little characters that don't have any struggles, because real people have struggles. So that's like the not cool fun answer.
Yeah,
But then what I try to do is I try to think about what what makes sense for these characters. And then, I talked about this. Oh, my computers went dark. My light, which is my computer. Um, for me, part of the fun, I hate to use the word fun because it's not really fun. It actually can be quite not fun, is the research. So, like, for instance, when I wrote Theo, it was really important to me. I actually worked in a school many, many years ago with a custodian who was a veteran. And it was like really a big part of who he was, you know? My grandfather, who, like, I don't know if I've ever told anyone this. Here I am telling you and like whoever's watching. My grandfather, who's passed away now, his name was Theodore. And he was a veteran and he had PTSD, although it wasn't like diagnosed, because he was of the age where, they just came back and they all had PTSD, but like nobody talked about it. Nobody went to therapy. You were a man. You just like fucked up and dealt with it. So it was kind of a little bit of me paying homage to him, but then also wanting to know more about it and explore that. And I did so much research on PTSD, specifically like veterans. And it's really not fun.
No,
Like,
I can
like I
imagine.
remember I watched a video. There was a video that I found that was about PTS, about veterans with PTSD, and it was like trying to show the viewer what it would be like. And it was this man, and he's like behind his house chopping wood, like for a fire or whatever, and a helicopter just comes by, like just, and it's totally not anything big, and he has a reaction, and it kind of like they use special effects or whatever to show his reaction. And I remember I was like, oh, this is like heavy shit. Like this is not. And when I wrote that one scene in the book where he has his episode, I was like shaking when I wrote that. Like I was very hard to write. But then, what I learned, that was only my second book. And what I've learned is like, if I'm having a visceral reaction when I'm writing it, then probably when you read it, you will too.
That's what you're
I
hoping
didn't
for.
know that. I didn't know that at the time. I was like, oh, okay. Like the spice scenes. I have a friend, and I will not say his name because I don't want to embarrass him. He's probably not on here anyway. But um, I have a friend who is actually a teacher. He teaches fourth grade as well, and he and I have been friends for a long time. And he is I send my spice scenes to him. I don't do it as much anymore because I don't, but I do sometimes. But at the beginning, I would send him all the spice scenes, and he would read them, and he would give me feedback, and he would tell me like, I don't know. And like the thing is like, if he got turned on, then I knew that I did a good job, right? Like, that's what you want. Like, that's the goal, right? Like, I mean, for me, like, I want people to feel something downstairs in their pants. Uh, that's that's what you want. Like, it's supposed to be hot. So, and then I would like sometimes I'll make revisions and I would send it back to him, and he'd be like, okay, now it's back. But the research, like when I wrote napkins, the OCD research, oh my gosh, I did so much research. The best thing that happened to me with that book is I have a friend, and I don't want to say her name because it's like not my, like, I don't want to spill
Yeah.
someone else's business, but I have a friend who's an author, um, who's like on Instagram, and I'm friends with her, like quite good friends, and she has OCD. And I was like, would it be okay if I asked you questions and kind of like interviewed you, and like and some of the questions might be really personal, and she would like go for it. And it was so helpful for me to to get that information from her. And so I'm like, for me, when I write a book, the research is part of it's like I do all that before I even start writing the book. Like I need to know some of
Yeah.
this information. And whether it's like when I wrote the cowboy book, I needed to know about horses and pickup trucks because I don't know about those things. um when I wrote my hockey book, I had to know about hockey because I don't know anything about hockey. I still really don't, but like I knew enough to write a few scenes. I was like, hockey, jockstrap.
And that's all you need to go with. So that's
But
sold.
then, well, and so I don't know if you know this, but in the book, it's actually Pee Wee hockey. So they're little kids, and it's their coach, who's also the PE teacher at the school. And then the other guy is a fifth grade English teacher,
Gosh, you just
which,
love putting these teachers in these books, and I'm here for it.
yes.
So
And,
I,
and, but I thought, I was like, if I make it Pee Wee hockey, then I won't have to learn that much about hockey because it must be like different. It must be easier because they're little kids, right? That's baloney. I still had to learn everything about Pee Wee hockey. Um, and then the other thing that's funny, I love telling this. So, Jordan, who her name is like not
Yeah,
Jordan on here, Juliet Fox
Julia
reads, but
Fox
Jordan,
reads.
yeah. So, Jordan, I asked Jordan if she would beta read for me because I have a couple people who are my regular beta readers, but I always try to get like one or two that know a lot about the content of the book. And so I was like, Jordan, will you beta read this hockey book for me? And of course, she was like, give it to me. So I did, and she read it and she was so positive. She really liked it. She had lovely things to say. But she said, Matt, you put a lot of hockey in this book. And like most of these hockey books don't have any hockey in them. And I was like, what do you mean? It's a hockey book. Like, shouldn't it have hockey in it? She's like, no, they don't. And at that point, I hadn't really read any hockey books, which I'm embarrassed to say, but I hadn't because it's like I don't care about sports. And then I started after I and also like I didn't want to copy
Well,
anyone.
hold on. Nobody is reading those hockey books for the sport. I just want to
I
put that
know,
out there.
I
That's
know,
not
but
why
I
I
feel
read
like
them.
there's still sport. Like if you're gonna call it a hockey book, then it has to have hockey in it, right? But what I'm learning is that is not the case.
And you,
So my hockey book has hockey in it. I hate to tell you, it's not a ton of hockey. Like at the beginning of the book, there's a game, like a little bit of it, like a little bit of action where they're like playing, and then in the middle of the book, the hockey coach takes the teacher on a ice skating date, like teaches them how to ice skate, which that was really fun and
oh
cute,
my
right?
gosh, my
And then
heart.
at the end of the book, it ends also with a game. But like my way of writing a game is like, I kind of summarize everything and then it's like the last minute of the game. And
Here's
my
here's
husband
everything that happened in the last 2 hours, and it
kind
comes
of.
down to
And
this
then
1 minute.
when I told my husband, he was like, how are you gonna write about sports? Because like he knows I know nothing about sports. And I was like, it's all just jock straps. It's like the guy has a jock strap kink. Done. That's what people want. And that's what I wrote. I will also tell you, without telling you the sport, this other book that I was writing that I wrote, it's written. I mean, and it's not finished, but like the draft is done. Uh my husband, who's very smart, he was like, Matt, we have to go watch the sport. Like you have to be in the room. Like you have to see it in person. I was like, really? And I did. I actually went to a sporting event a few times.
And you're saying that like that is an unbelievable thing that you have done. Is like
It is. Okay, here's
um
so I live in New England, right? Like I live in Portland, Maine, and everyone here loves like the Red Sox, like the Boston Red Sox. Ooh, the Red Sox. And I've never been to a game. Do you know what got me to go to oh, what's the name of the field that they play at? I can't even think. It's like a famous field. Everyone talks about it. I want to say Wrigley Field, but that's Chicago. Whatever, someone down here tell us what it is. Anyway, whatever the field is in Boston where the Red Sox played, that's very famous. Do you know why I went there? And it's the only time I went there.
there was a concert.
And guess who it was? It's
Uh,
Fenway. See, your husband knows.
my husband loves baseball. Like
Oh God.
we have to watch so many sports in this house. It's not
Oh.
fun.
Okay, so the reason I went to Fenway Park was because Lady Gaga was
I
playing
was gonna
there.
guess Lady Gaga. That was oh,
And it
just went
was
with my gut.
phenomenal. It was
Oh, I'm
like the
sure.
best show. And I was like, it took Lady Gaga to get me to Fenway Park, but here I am. And have I ever been back since? No.
No.
Um, I will say, like on a little bit of a serious note, in the hockey book, which is called Peaches and Pucks, the teacher has a little bit of like I don't like to like Pete. I feel like people overuse the word PTSD, so I don't want to like say he has PTSD because I feel like that's too strong of a word. But he has a little bit of like trauma around sports. Like he grew up as a gay kid in a family with brothers and a dad who were big sports people, and he always kind of felt like he didn't fit in and he didn't belong. And as an adult, he still hangs on to that. And I think a lot of queer people, especially like
Yeah.
gay men, have that. I do, like don't throw a ball at me. Um, and so I use that in the book. And so then he's like falls for the PE teacher who's the hockey coach, who he thinks is straight, who's not straight. And he just assumes that he's straight, but he's not. And I love writing the book. It was so, so fun to write. Especially, it's also like another thing that I do in my books is I typically write older characters. Like when I say older, I mean like 30s or up. Like I don't
Right.
write young
Like
guys.
our age.
Right. Like, well, your age. But but the hockey guys are young. They're the youngest couple I've ever written. They're like one of them is 29 and the other is just 30. And I've never written guys that young before. And I probably never will again because not to be mean, but like I have no interest in it. Like everyone else is writing those guys, right? Like that's what
Yeah.
every MM book, they're like 22, 23, 24. I don't need to write that. Um I know we're almost out of time. Oh my gosh, it's after 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I know. I
Um,
Time flies when you're
I know.
having fun. And it's past your bedtime, it's past my
I
bedtime.
know. The only
Um
other thing I'll tell you, so the hockey book comes out in February. Then my monster book is called Meetings with the Minotaur. That comes out in April. I'm working on it now. I had a sensitivity read, and people laugh when I say that. They're like, sensitivity read? What did you have a Minotaur read it? No, I did not have a Minotaur read it. There's a thing in monster romance that a lot of people don't know about that's called like, oh, I'll tell you what it's called because I have my sensitivity report here because this is news to me. It's called fantasy racism or sometimes fantastical racism. See, you're making a face. I made
that's
the
like a
same face.
thing.
It's a real thing. And what it is it's where like the how do I say it? Like the ideas of racism are kind of put on the monster in the book, the monsters or the creatures in the books. So
Mm,
like here's an example. Orcs are sometimes portrayed as like almost like Native Americans and they're portrayed as like savages who are like and you wouldn't even think it because you're like, well, it's an orc. So it's like this weird thing. This sensitivity read has been amazingly enlightening to me.
that's all.
And so I'm really happy that I did it. The person who did the sensitivity read was phenomenal. But it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was being like, problematic with my cute little rom-com. So of course you want to fix those things. But that book comes out in April. It's so fun. It's an office monster rom-com and it's 50% spice,
Oh
which
my
I
god.
didn't realize until I finished. And I was like, how much spice is in this? There's 20 chapters and half of them are spiced. Uh, it's just fun. It's
Are you
like,
gonna are you
do you
gonna
read
break another
monster
cherry of mine? Are
romance?
you gonna be my monster romance
Yes.
first read?
Yes. You're going to love it. Let me tell you. Okay, but let me tell you what you should read while you're waiting. And
Okay.
everyone's going to say something else, but I'm going to tell you really what you should read. So the book that popped my monster cherry is called Tentacles and Triathlons, and it's by Ashley Bennett, who's become a dear friend of mine. I adore Ashley. And it is like small town monster rom-com. It's like a rom-com, but it's small town and it's Grumpy Sunshine, it's MM, but the human is the grump. And the Kraken, which do you know what a Kraken is?
Yeah, yeah. I've seen the
It's
cover
like
of this book.
okay,
I
it's
know
like
what
a
this cover looks
yeah,
like.
it's like a man, but he has tentacles, right? He's the sunshine. And
Okay, I
it
like that.
yeah, it's so well done. The only thing I will say is so Ashley, like much like myself, got picked up by a traditional publisher and she is now working the books so that they're longer for traditional publishing. I actually got to read the new version of this book and it's like almost twice as long. So you might want to wait and read the
Okay.
new version when it comes out because I actually and this is I mean I told Ashley this. It's like one of my favorite books. I adore it, but the new version is better. It's actually I was like
Okay.
I don't know how you did it, but you made it even better because it's longer. The characters are more fleshed
Yeah.
out. so those books are, that's my jam of, that's my type of monster book. Like I don't want scary, I don't want
No,
spooky.
you want to be.
I tried the Lily Mayne books, which no shade, because Lily Mayne is a lovely person and people adore those books, but they're a little dark. Like they're a little, I don't want to say scary or creepy because those words sound negative, but like for me, I'm a sensitive boy. Like I'm that little, those boys that you have in class where you're like, oh, he's a sensitive one. That's me.
He's a
But
sensitive one.
I don't like that. Like it's too little too dark for me, right? Like I like sweet, and like my monster book is like a funny rom-com. It's just monsters live there, right? And that's kind of like what Ashley writes as well. Um and this
Oh,
one is a minotaur, and minotaurs are hot, okay? Because they're big. It's so you got the size difference. And when I say they're big, I mean everything's big.
oh my gosh, Matt.
There's a part, okay, I will tell you a little spoiler. When the human sees him like without his pants on for the first time, and he not his dick, but his balls, he's like, "Oh my God, they're like softballs or grapefruits or melons." Like he's trying to identify exactly the thing that it's very silly and fun. Um and there are other things about minotaurs that I could tell you that might make you blush.
We're
So
okay. How much have how much research did you do on like minotaurs in general before this book?
So I will
I
tell
can
you
only
one of the,
imagine those Google searches.
well, I was nervous about writing monster romance because I didn't want to like do it wrong or anything like that. And Ashley Bennett, who again has become a dear friend of mine, said something to me that was so perfect. She said, "Matt, it's your world, it's your minotaur or whatever monster it
Mm.
is, because there will be other books with different monsters. It doesn't you don't have to do research, right? Like you can kind of do what you want, but there are certain traits that different monsters have that you don't have to you do them, but like so like minotaurs, one of the things that they're known for is when they
Oh my gosh. What happens when they do that? I'm so,
it's a
I want to
lot.
preface this. he Matt told me that he was going to see how many times he could make me blush tonight, and I
I
will
don't think you've
say
blushed once.
it's because of the ring light.
So, okay, so here's one thing. So I had beta readers for the Minotaur book, and one of the beta readers said to me, Matt, I think you're entering your buckets of cum era.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
It's
That's
like it's like buckets. Like, and when I
please.
say buckets, I don't mean like a little, like I'm not being dramatic, or I'm being like literally it could fill a bucket.
Oh my gosh. Where does it even, what do you do with that? I don't even want to
Well,
know.
in my book, they actually do something with it.
Oh my.
But I will tell you, it's still, this is the thing. It's still me. It's still an MA Wardell book, right? So it's still sweet, and there's a lot of emotion. And yes, get a mop and a bucket. Um, uh, there's a lot of caretaking. I had a lot of fun. Like I was like, yeah, I think people are gonna like it. And wait until you see the cover, because I have the cover and it's killing me that I cannot share it. It's too
When do you,
soon, right?
when can you
It's too
share it?
soon. Well, like right now, I'm trying to just like honor Husband of the Year and like let
Yeah,
it
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah,
its
yeah.
time.
I imagine it's like a tricky game to like
Yeah,
give enough time to all of your
yeah.
books because you have so many.
And then the hockey book comes out, so it's like, and this book doesn't come out until April, so it's like, well, maybe in January. But it is so. Mari is her name, and I met her. She's the artist who did the cover, and she's this is her first cover except her own books. She also is an author, and she does a lot of graphic novels. I met her at the Lambda Awards. We were sitting together. There were some other people sitting near us who were not very nice to us and didn't want to talk to us, and I won't say who they are, but they're famous. Like they wrote famous books. I won't say who they are. I was like, this is what I'm talking about. Like some people are not that friendly in person. Anyway, Mari and I hit it off. Like we were just like, by the end of the night, we both lost and we were just like friends. and she did some artwork for me. She did I don't have it to show you, but she did artwork of Marvin and Olin, Sheldon and Theo, and Vincent and Kent, and it's like really cute. Like the Sheldon and Theo one, it's like uh Sheldon is like squeezing Theo and kissing his cheek. It's like very kind of
Mm.
cartoony and cute. um it was So she did the cover, and it's phenomenal. It might be my favorite cover of all of my covers. It's that
What?
good.
Even the
It's
special
so good.
editions?
Even this, it's I will DM you if you promise not to show anyone.
Okay.
When we hang up, I mean, like when we're
Okay.
over.
Well, yeah,
Uh
obviously.
it's so good. And I told her, I said, listen, Mari, if you're gonna do the cover for me, this is a series, so I need someone to do the whole series. Like, you want the same artist. And she's like, let's do it. I've already written book two,
That's awesome.
because
But
these are
one, that's awesome that
novellas.
you have like someone who's willing to do the rest of the series, but also they're like, you don't play around when you're writing, do you?
Because the thing is, like, I look at this like it's my job. I mean, it is my
Yeah.
job, right? So when I get up, I sit down and I write almost like every day, unless it's something that I'm doing that's like I have to pack up a lot of books or something like that. But generally speaking, I'm writing. And the thing about trad pub is, like I kind of said before, there's so much waiting and
Hmm.
waiting and waiting. It's like, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to write another book. And these are novellas. They're short. They're like 200 pages. So I can write them much faster than a long book.
Well, that's good.
So book one will come out in April. The second book, it depends what happens with this other Trad Pub sports book that I'm not telling you about. Depending on when that comes out, the second book will come out. The second book is an orc is the monster who's in that book, which is
Okay.
like basically just like a big green man with tusks.
That's why you had to do the fantasy racism research, right? For the orc.
And I will also, this person who was my sensitivity reader, I will use her for every book, because nobody wants to be problematic. Like, it's
No.
not on purpose. And if I can hire someone, and it takes a little bit of time and a little bit more work and a little bit of money, but I'd rather do that and know that I have a book that's not going to be offensive. Like, I don't want to be offensive to
Right.
people. um and the orc book, I mean, I shouldn't even talk about it, because it's, who even knows when it's coming out. He's one of the IT guys in the office. So he's like a nerd. He has big, chunky black glasses. So it's like this dichotomy, because he's this big, beefy guy, but he's actually just like a big old nerd,
Oh, I
computer
love
nerd,
that.
which I find so hot.
Give me a big beefy nerd.
Yes.
I like bigger guys. I like. Never mind.
Me
It's.
too. Me too. I'm telling you, when Rod gave me that hug, it was like a light bulb went off on my head. I was like, oh, this is this is like something different. Like, he just squeezed me, and like I was like, oh, Rod, keep hugging me. It
Squeeze me
wasn't,
harder.
I mean, it's totally platonic. Like, there's nothing like
No. Yeah.
sexual.
No.
It's just a hug, but it's like he's just like enveloped me. Like, I was like lost in his hug, and it
Rod
was
just said, "Am I the orc?"
maybe. And his husband also gives really good hugs too.
Well, I don't want to keep. We're already
Yeah,
15 minutes late. I know
that's
it's past your
fine.
bedtime. It's past my bedtime, but I've so enjoyed this. I just enjoy like listening to you chat about writing and the thing, and you get so excited about your work, and it's really nice to see. So I appreciate you. I appreciate this.
Well, I appreciate you. You know that, because you are one of the people who, like I said earlier, who's so positive, and like, you actually are how you are online in person. Like, you're just as nice in person, maybe even nicer,
I'll take it. I appreciate that.
because you're tall.
I'm nice and tall, everybody.
Your husband's tall too. Isn't he like about the same height?
He is. I'm a little taller than he is, but
Okay,
he
but
is.
he's not. He's pretty tall.
Oh, I
Well,
was
I
gonna say.
appreciate.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
No, no, you say. Go ahead.
I forgot both of our husbands are twins. That didn't come up tonight.
I didn't know your husband was a twin. Did
Yes,
I know that?
yes, because we talked about this.
Is your husband an identical twin?
Yes.
Mine is too.
I know. That's like the cool thing.
I don't remember that. So that's why when I wrote the cowboy book, I really wanted to. Though I don't know if you read that cowboy book or if you read mine or Cleo's or neither or both, but the one of the main characters in my book and the male main character in Cleo's book are identical twins.
Oh, that's cool.
And I did that on purpose because I wanted to write. I mean, I kind of did it with Sheldon and his sister. They're not identical twins, but
Right.
like twins are, they are like it's like different, right? You know this. Like
It is.
it's just unless you know a twin like close like us, you don't because I didn't know until I met my husband. I was like, oh, this is like some next level sibling closeness stuff. And so
Oh,
I
this
wanted
is
to show
weird.
that. It's kind of weird. And it's funny when one of the people, I can't remember who, someone who read the cowboy book, like one of my beta readers or someone, I can't remember, was like, this is a little weird. Like the brothers are like, they're like hugging and kissing. And I was like, yeah, that's what they're like. Like they're really, really close. Like it's not like like regular siblings. It's like another level.
Yeah.
And I wanted to show that. And and Sheldon and his sister are kind of like that too. I think twins are cool. So like I don't want to overdo it and like write twins all the time, but now I've written two books that have twins in them.
Gotta get that twin rat. I'm here for it. I
Yes.
love it. But all right, well, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for
All right.
this.
Oh
Thank
my
you
gosh,
for
thank you. We should do it again
yeah,
sometime.
let's do it. I will get on here and yap about books any day of the week with you.
All right, I mean, for sure, every time I have a book come out, I'm going to chat with you online. For sure. And all that means is that I have to send you a free book.
And you know what? Twist, stop. No, don't. Listen, I can't read anymore. I have so many books to read. But
I
yes,
know you
do
have
it.
a,
Do it.
okay. No
All right.
pressure, no pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. Well, thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
I'll chat. I'll go right into your DMs after I end this.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I have to send you that cover.
Oh. And to everybody here, thank you for joining us. Thank you for hopefully you've supported the Teachers in Love series. It's amazing. My first romance. My first spicy book. A lot of firsts. Husband of the Year just came out Tuesday. Go get it. Read it. Read it. Read it.
Yay. Okay, thanks,
All right.
Brad.